Yeah. So it's with great pleasure that we receive Sakyiwaa Boetang from Walter Sisulu University, South Africa. Okay. And her presentation is From Mathematics and Science to Mastery, a 10th grader's journey with the growth zone model in the mathematics and physical science. Okay. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Colleagues, my project is basically on what we started this year. We were here last year and we couldn't do much, but we had three objectives. We start with the pre-service teachers that we teach, and then we train teachers in schools also to introduce or to use the tools that we have in teaching students for mathematics and physical sciences. So what I did when my students were on strike is to start with the coaching strategies. So I had opportunity to engage with at least 4 teachers, 2 mathematics teachers and 2 physical science teachers in 2 different schools. But my study is basically in this context. I love to research on students that are disadvantaged. In South Africa, we say they are disadvantaged because we don't have that opportunity to be in the cities. So these students here in this location, in these schools, we have these schools, and most of them are not like beautiful as you can see on slide, on the third, the middle picture. Some schools are not this beautiful, but they live in these areas that you see here. They live here, and in high schools, they walk about 10 kilometers. I don't know about miles compared to miles. So they walk 10 kilometers from their homestead to get to the schools, especially in high schools. And then for junior secondary schools, they walk about 3 to 5 kilometers to get to their schools. So my study has always been targeting these students that are disadvantaged. And I want to also inculcate that spirit of resilience among the students in order for them to improve on the comprehension when it comes to mathematics and science. So these are their homes, and then they walk these distances on these gravel roads to school. So in South Africa, this is our daily experience when it comes to mathematics and physical sciences. International studies, TIMS, PISA, TIMS, and then we also have matric exams, which is the living school exams that they write in grade 12. The grade 12 is more like year, I don't know about it here, maybe A level or O level, but it's the living school certificate exams that they write, and then after that they move to the universities. So there have been studies, international studies with TIMS, and that of the matric results is not giving us a good picture when it comes to the performance of learners in mathematics and physical sciences. So here we are. This is the student we find in our South African schools. And the learners have low achievement when it comes to mathematics and physical science. The physical science is to do with physics and chemistry, but it is considered as one subject in SA. So one of the causes, according to research, one of the causes of this low performance has to do with the anxieties that they experience. They are scared of the subject, especially with mathematics. That attitude of I can't, math is not for me. But in our schools, you see that most of the schools, most of the students are forced to do mathematics because they have this tendency of I can do mathematics, I can do physics, but I have no option. I don't like to do business courses like in business studies and commercial subjects like economics and geography and accounting. They don't like to do that. So most of the schools are facing off a commercial subject because everyone is now moving into physical science class. But when they get there, they are forced to do pure mathematics, and they also have to do physics and chemistry. So one of the reasons is that they underperform, and that's one of the causes is the anxieties that they experience in physical sciences. So I move on with what I did in the schools. So getting to the schools, we already have this definition of maths and science. I don't want to repeat it, otherwise I won't be able to finish my presentation. So I'll skip this literature and then I'll move on here. So this is what I did initially. I invited these teachers, but I went there on one-on-one sessions with the teachers. I trained them using the tools, but I decided to do it gradually. So on the first day, I talked to the school principals and then the teachers, and then they gave me the chance, the opportunity to go to the classroom and talk to the learners. So in my interaction with the learners, I got to know that they had a whole lot of stories to tell me about mathematics, especially. So they're saying they learn mathematics in another language. And unfortunately, the teacher in that school is a teacher who is a non-speaker of Xhosa, and they wish that the teacher can teach them in Xhosa, but the teacher is teaching them in English, which they are not so proficient on. So they were not happy. And I also went with a research assistant because I couldn't communicate with them. I'm also a non-native. So this guy I went with was able to interact with the students. Although I introduced myself, I gave them motivation session, and then after that, the assistant took it over. So we introduced the teachers. Afterwards, we came back to the teachers. We talked to them about the need to build resilience among the learners. And they were not even aware because the mathematics teacher, the other mathematics teacher in the second school was not even able to explain the word resilience. He had no idea of resilience. So I had to take the time to talk to the teacher about resilience. And then the anxiety wasn't that clear to them, but they know that they fear, they're scared, they have misconceptions. But the term anxiety wasn't that clear. So I started with the growth zone model, and then I gradually introduced the teachers to the relaxation response, but it's not part of this paper that I am presenting now. So we developed, it's an action research training of math science teachers and then a whole class intervention. So the teachers had to go to the classroom and this time teach them using the resources that we designed. I designed resources when it comes to each topic in mathematics and each topic also in physical sciences for term 2. I couldn't do much, but I was doing some trials for the first part of term 2. So we have whole class intervention, and there were 56 students in grade 10, and the average age is 16. And these students, they speak Xhosa, and the English language is a language of teaching and instruction. But one thing I noticed is that even the English teacher who is supposed to teach English as a language teaches English as a subject. So the English teacher will explain in English and then switch it into Xhosa. So there was code switching in almost all the classrooms that I visited. So the first thing that I did was to issue out the questionnaire. And then I analyzed the data for the questionnaire, and I saw that about 99% of the students in the schools, they do have anxiety. And then from there, I did class observation. I managed to conduct 2 class observations in May, and then the first week of June. And then I also interviewed the teachers, but there was one student who was she was very curious about my study, and she was very fluent. She's one student who was able to come to me, and then we had a section. And because of that, I invited this student and then I interviewed the student. So this is what I have. This is what I developed for the teachers. Daily math challenge. I have to come up with all those. I printed them out to the teachers. And then there was a self-assessment that they need to give to the students every other period that they have. And then we also had group work. We had puzzles requiring logical reasoning. And then we have real life situations. All of these were incorporated into the mathematics classroom. And then what I did with the physical science teacher was also to develop these assessment strategies and these examples, just to introduce more of interactive classroom situation where the teacher varies the teaching learning strategies that they normally use. Simple and safe experiments that allows students to observe physics concepts in action, and then there was peer teaching, and then interactive simulations. I had to do all these downloads, and then I send it to the teachers. So I have results coming in from just one student that I interviewed. I interviewed the student in March, and then again in May, latter part of May, and then I had a time again to go to the school in the first week of June. And this is what I have experienced in the school. Narrative account of Lusanda. I've given her a name, a nice name. I don't know of the name, Lusanda. Maybe Namzamo will talk to us about the meaning of the name, because most South African names have got meanings in a way. Initial challenges. So initially, this is what Lusanda is saying. I don't know, and I think there is something wrong with me when I'm doing maths. I like my math teacher, she said so, but I don't like the subject that my mathematics teacher teaches. It's sometimes so hard for me to think when I see so many numbers. So that was Lusanda. And then in terms of physical sciences, she said that physical science is also just like mathematics, because she needs the mathematics in order to apply it in the context of physical science. The concept looked too abstract and not something I enjoy learning. Especially, he said that magnetic flux change. He said there's something changing, just like current flows, but they can't see anything flowing. They know that water flows, but current doesn't flow, but they use the current flowing as a concept. And then the 10th graders journey. So here we are. I don't know what is the same thing. So let's look at the progress and then the outcomes that she has made so far in terms of mathematics. So Lusanda says that my teacher has been, this was done in late May. In late May, Lusanda comes back to me, and this time she's saying that my teacher has been patient with me. So that teacher was so impatient, is not patient with this student, because the teacher now knows that it takes coping strategies in order to bring these students to the mathematics classroom. If you're forcing them to learn, there's no way they will be able to learn. They won't be able to learn because you are forcing them. But now this teacher has changed his way of teaching, and now being patient and taking his time. So he says that my teacher has been patient with me since March. He says I need to have a positive mindset. I can't do math. And now I have a different feeling about math. And I'm getting used to the idea that I can do math. All I have to do is to be honest with myself and tell if I understand mathematics, the topic or not. That was what she said in late May. And now going back to going further with how she has used the growth zone, he says that now I know that I don't have to panic when solving math problems. All I do is to place my marble. So actually, I gave marbles to the teacher when I printed out the growth zone model. So everyone has a copy. So in my classroom observation, I saw that they will be moving their marbles every now and then. The teacher will pause and then ask them, "How do you feel? Do you have any question? Do you think we can progress?" And then the student will say, "Yeah, we can progress. I think, teacher, I'm not clear about this one. Can you please repeat the concept again?" And that is what happened in the classroom. Unfortunately, we still have a lot to talk to about Lusanda. Otherwise, improvement in maths grades. Yeah, this is Lusanda now. She's saying that I must say that since my class has started using this GZM charts, my marks have improved. I used to have very low marks in maths. Now I am so ashamed to even say it. And then she covered the face because she said that I couldn't say it because I used to have about 2%, but now I can see that my marks are getting better. So that is it. Otherwise, the study is about one student growing from being an anxious student to being a master in the concept that she was doing in term 2. I think my time is up.
We have 4 minutes for questions.
So we move over here. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions?
Okay, mine is just a comment, not really a question. I can say that I'm really impressed by seeing what Sakyiwaa did in South Africa, and seeing that students were able to apply the Boetang model and it was implemented in class, and seeing the outcomes and the feedback from the students. It's very encouraging, and I can say that I can't wait to implement the same in my life.
Yes, Claire?
It seems to me that Lusanda is influencing a teacher, not just, I assume you worked with the teacher as well, but she's showing the teacher what benefit. Is it growing through the school now, do you think? Is that teacher influencing their colleagues?
I will say the teacher came back to me and they said, now the students have started calling him anxiety. They are calling him anxiety because it's like every now and then they are hearing anxiety, anxiety. So now, as of now, I've visited the school 3 times. I can see that even the physical science teacher who was not so keen to use the tools is beginning to use it in the class. So I think very soon, but the principal is very keen and she wanted the school to also improve in their performance because this is one of the schools that had a lower percentage in mathematics, 50% at the end of the year. 15% in mathematics in the final year exams results. So she needs all the support.
But that principal will influence other principals.
Yeah, exactly that. So now I'm trying to bring that physics teacher on board fully because it's like he wants to do it, but he's so resistant. Although he has been in the system for about 6 years or so. And those teachers, they are not so keen for any professional development programs.
Not resistant.
Small stuff.
Congratulations.
Well, so now, yeah. So let me find here.
I did see it earlier.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.